Can't remember how to set it up. Hello! Hopefully you can hear us. Well, this is the after party to Bree's weekly Hive stream, although this week was slightly different. And I don't have a script. I don't know how to start a stream without a script. It's very weird.
Jeez.
Well, who all we got in here?
Congratulations, Bree. We're very proud of you. We love you.
Yes.
There's your fucking script, Dave.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. So I did decide to publicly announce that I am trans and will prefer to be called Bree, if you would. You can still call me Brainbug. I don't mind that at all. That's a title I picked too. So, and yeah, I don't want it to become a focal point on my channel, which is part of the reason why I'm having my friends here, so that you all can ask me those questions over here instead of on my channel where I want you to ask me questions about bugs. So if you're out there in the chat and you have questions for me, I can definitely answer them. I know people here on the panel probably have some questions too. We did go over some of the questions backstage, but I would, I don't mind. Nothing's been said so far that I would have a problem with being said publicly.
Sorry.
Is this going to be on your channel?
I don't know if you can hear, but my dog is whining really loud because she can't make her broccoli squeak. So I apologize if that, Sorry, Brie.
Okay, and Badger, I did look at your tweet with your wasp. I actually had it pulled up right before we came live, so that's pretty cool. It's all ground wasp, huh? I'm not sure about the species. I'll have to get back to you on that, but pretty freaking sweet.
He dug them up.
Yeah.
It's a badger. Why aren't you renaming to Breebug? Given that I've managed for the last year to spell you Brian Bug.
Well, because Brain Bug is more about it's more about it's the channel's name or more the character's name who hosts the show, where we share information about the insects, or we do the fiction stuff. I'm really excited about doing that fiction section, by the way. I know that the character I went with today wasn't like a big hit character or anything, but I'm excited about doing that. Anyway, just learning about them and learning about insects, learning about science through that. I think Brain Bug is just that's what that stands for. It doesn't necessarily represent me as a person, but me as a character on my channel.
None of us know anything about that.
Junk Shop's your Christian name.
Yeah. Mr. and Mrs. Library are very proud of their little junk shop.
Oh yeah, we all have those names, right? Actually, Brian is still. I mean, I'm gonna have to be Brian for a while and try and get that changed. I did get some paperwork and stuff on how to go through all those changes. I would prefer to just be Bree on my updated birth certificate and stuff. I think that would make this feel more real instead of like I'm just, being this person in a private setting. I want to be that person in a public setting. I want to do my taxes as Bree. I don't just the mundane and even the shitty stuff. I'd rather do as me than pretending to be this person that I'm really not. That I've had to hold up in front of myself for the last almost 40 years.
People are asking.
So the
about
takeaway from this is Bree wants to do her taxes.
Yes.
Wait,
That was the
no
whole reason
person
for
ever.
this.
Well,
All
I'd
about
rather,
the taxes.
I'd rather do my taxes as Bree than do my taxes as Brian. I think is the main message that I'm.
Yeah, meanwhile, the rest of us were thinking we would love it if the IRS
I'd
had
rather
made
do my
sure.
taxes. Just
Yeah.
that sentence. It was funny. It's funny.
I'm still trying to parse "make her broccoli squeak," so it's
A dog,
whatever weird sentences come
a
out
broccoli
of that.
dog toy.
Yes. Yeah, she has this broccoli dog toy that it squeaks, but she can't get it to squeak herself. So she makes this really squeaky sound that's her whining. And she does the same with bubble wrap. She fucking loves bubble wrap, but she can't get it to pop herself. So she'll sit there with it in her mouth with this sad face and just whine. Saddest thing. So, sorry. Hello, beautiful.
Make the broccoli squeak. What's your little doggy's name, Phoebe?
Didn't know you had a dog.
This is Rocky. Rocky.
We had a dog called
You're
Rocky.
famous again.
Is it a miniature pincher? What is it?
It is. You are spot on.
Yeah.
That is
Thank you-
good
thank you
dog
for not-
identification there. The number
Thank
of
you.
people that say this is a miniature, not a miniature, a Manchester Terrier, gets on my nerves. Not a
Thank you for not
Terrier.
cropping its tail and ears. I appreciate that very
Yeah,
much.
I agree.
Still fully bollocked up, he is.
Yeah. I'm not just good at identifying bugs, just things in general when it comes to animals and life
completely
forms.
as it's supposed to be. Full ears, full tail, full reproductive system, and everything. Well, come
Are you
on,
gonna-
up you come.
Rocky is a boy. Is it male then? Is it you're going to breed him?
Yeah.
Or have
I
you?
don't know yet. He's not old enough yet. He's only 18 months old.
He's got the right. It looks like the right character. Oh, he's got some big old balls on him too. He's got the right characteristics to be a good breeder, right? I don't see anything.
Showing them
Well,
all
yeah.
off.
Spooky says, "Is
there
that
he is,
small
all
dog or
proud.
far away?" And Ed says, "I'm taking your dog. I don't care."
Doorknob head was right there
No,
with me, noting
no.
the balls. Okay.
Hang on.
It is a
Angie,
normal sized dog, but Phoebe's head is so big it appears miniature.
There you go. Amanda has me down to a T. The size of my ego is through the roof, so therefore the size of my head is enormous.
Oh, is
You're
that
like
how
a
it
big-
works?
You're like a
Eddie's
bobblehead.
bearded dragon. Eddie's bearded dragon won't allow her to have a dog.
Oh my gosh, Crafty.
Hi.
Speaking of bearded dragons, we were supposed to go to that reptile show, and Grayson was getting his bearded dragon.
Oh wow!
Because we were gonna
Oh,
now he still wants to go get one this weekend, and I have to go to the pet store, I guess, and get one of the
Oh jeez.
plain ones.
Is there any breeders around? Is there any breeders around you?
There's a reptile shop that's about an hour drive away. I don't know. I've been thinking about going there because they'll have more variety. I don't want to
I was actually offered a juvenile beardy this week. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Can you take it to work?
No, I can't take it to work. I don't think my job would
got
like
an
a beardy
office?
running around.
See, I
I
can't.
do, but the warehouse is big, so I don't think they would allow a beardy in there. Just in case. Just
Bearded
in
dragons,
case.
they don't really run around though, do they? They
You
kinda
can-
just sit
You'd
there.
be surprised how fast they are.
You
You'd be
can
surprised how fast they are.
let them
Put it
like
on a
loose
little
in one
harness,
room.
put it on
I
your
don't know about
shoulder.
a warehouse. I would be able to provide you with free feeder dubia, but you're all the way across the Atlantic. I don't know why
I
you.
know, right?
I got like a whole ton of them. I've been thinking about getting into selling feeder bugs, at least to start things off, as doing a little side project to make some money, because I got a ton of like 4 different species of roaches and 2 different what's the word I'm looking for now? I'm not totally stoned right now, I promise. Mealworms. I have mealworms and superworms.
Mealworms.
Oh, I used to have to feed those to my hedgehog.
Do you still have a hedgehog? I want to talk about your hedgehog if you still have it.
I don't have them anymore, but I used to have some exotic pets like a sugar glider and a chinchilla.
Hey, Ring.
Hey, Ring.
Hey, Ring, another potential guest for my show.
Yeah.
Ring has got bangs today too. I love your bangs.
Thanks.
Oh, we were just talking about sugar gliders, chinchillas, and hedgehogs.
My
Any
God.
thoughts?
And my God.
So I think it goes sugar gliders, chinchillas, hedgehogs. But
My
it's
God,
very, very
sugar
close.
gliders, hedgehogs, chinchillas.
Sugar gliders are not very fun to take care of just because of their tiny, sharp claws. And there's not really very many places you can go to get those trimmed. You know, it's not like a dog, like a dog groomer.
And they need to be habituated like super early to people, otherwise they can get aggressive. Sugar gliders. I mean, they're not exactly the smartest pets, because marsupials just in general aren't really as high function intelligence as us placental mammals. But sugar gliders are really charismatic to go visit somebody else who has them.
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, like sticking sugar gliders at the top, I will 100% say it is just like me being biased.
Yeah, because they're adorable, right?
Well, also, I like the gliding aspect.
Did you ever feed? Did you ever feed mealworms to your sugar glider?
No, I just would get them from the pet store for my hedgehog, and they would be live, and they would be in this plastic bag, and it was so weird because you could like feel them biting through the bag, or like walking. They have those little weird legs, and I don't know. It was
Oh
creepy.
yeah.
No, I usually fed him like a fruit diet, I think, and mixed with like the like food that they have, the little pellets that
Yeah, the
they make
protein
them.
powder pellets or protein
Yeah.
pellets or whatever. Yeah, you can supplement their diets with some insects.
Yeah, I think it was like fruit, and then you would add this powder on top of it, something like
Yeah.
that. Like,
Yeah,
is it okay if I
Yeah,
share my
like,
screen really quick,
like
Dave?
minerals,
No,
share your screen?
supplements,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Dave, can you help him with that? Or
Okay, we can try it.
okay.
It won't take very long.
Stop making Dave do shit.
Okay,
But
well,
Well, I'm stoned. Sorry. Like I said, I've been.
um,
That did settle my nerves way more than the coffee did. You're right. I should have stuck with weed, but I probably fell asleep during the
So we're
first
gonna have
half.
to do-
Thinking of the word stoned, it reminds me of something that I heard, that they have edited a new version of the Bible, which omits the word stoned because people were misconstruing it with getting high instead of being executed.
so Bree mentioned wearing eyeliner, so I just wanted to post this picture of me in solidarity.
Yes.
also,
I'm trying
You
to
did the cat eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah, nice
Uh,
rings on that.
yeah.
What?
fun
that's
fact,
amazing.
the Bob Dylan song "Everybody Must Be Stoned," even though people think it's about getting high, it's about being executed by stoning.
Oh,
Because
that's kind of a downer.
That's much less fun.
No, it's about how awful it is to stone people, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
do
know, like they'll stone you for sitting on the porch. They'll stone you for
Yeah. And there's a whole Leviticus that I was talking about on my show. Yeah, there's a whole section of the Bible that's just like these are things that we should kill people for, and yeah, it's all a bunch of stupid stuff.
And
We don't. How many people on this panel would survive Levitical judgment? I don't think anybody would.
no.
no, I would be the first one in the oven.
No, I guarantee we're all wearing mixed fabrics.
I don't know what the fuck you all.
I'm not
about.
wearing
It's
mixed
really
fabrics.
perfect.
You're not wearing any fabric. That doesn't count.
Well, I've got a green T-shirt on.
I had catfish last night.
That's cotton.
Now, here's the question. Has anybody in here heard of the Israeli town of Maisharim?
That sounds like a song.
I think so.
But no, you can go to
My
Maisharim
Sharona dumbass.
and you can get T-shirts that say, I got stoned in Maisharim. And if you walk through this town on religious holidays, they will literally throw stones at you from their houses. And then outside each house, they have pots which are just filled with stones that they will then throw at people walking down, like holding hands or smoking on like Saturday.
What about people streaking? Can you get those donuts if you come streaking through the town?
Well, I would assume that everybody would.
We should make that a thing. We should make that our next big convention is to go streaking through that town.
No, if this is a thing that they do regularly, they've got practice, which means they've got aim, which means I am not going streaking down that street with people. No, bad. No.
You gotta live on the edge, junk shop.
This is as close to the edge as I live.
I love your
I've got
shirt.
a camera inside my house.
Oh, I love that shirt, by the way, junk
I
shop.
love that shirt.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Me
You're
too.
fantastic.
Hey, Eddie.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, Eddie.
Hi there, Grace.
Thank you for coming to my show this morning.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna have to watch it again properly because trying to do a few things, but I kept popping in and I was like, so I need to. Okay, I need to watch it again completely. have some nice snacks and curl up and.
You don't have to watch the whole thing completely because what I do is I cut it up into those different segments and then release those individually over the following month. So you don't have to watch the whole thing over
That's
again.
a terrible idea.
No, I stole that from Critical Questions. Oh,
Sounds like a lot of extra work to me.
Yeah, that too.
I've got a Kaz.
I do it all myself, so but I love doing it. I love cutting it and editing it. It does take a lot of my time, though.
See, what you don't have is guests that refuse to let you say the question to make a nice dividing line that she can find.
You got to answer the question, Dave.
Dave is the ultimate con man when it comes to this, so he knew exactly how to do it.
Sorry, go on, Ring.
But speaking of mealworms, a while back, when I kept a green anole back when I was like 7, maybe 8, it wouldn't eat it. It loved crickets. It wouldn't eat mealworms. So
It wasn't a null, and it wouldn't eat the mealworms. That's kind of curious.
Are those pretty small?
About they're finger-sized lizards. Yeah.
Yeah. It like mine got about like 3 inches.
Yeah.
Maybe
like
it was
3,
intimidated by the mealworms. I mean, they can be kind of scary.
Superworms, especially superworms,
Yeah,
they grow.
they're
They
big.
grow into a huge darkling beetles that.
Oh yeah, like the way I found out was that like a couple weeks after I tried like feeding it, a mealworm, I had a beetle like flying around inside the terrarium.
Yeah, that's what they'll do if they don't get eaten. Actually, I had that wolf spider that Tobin Templeman sent me. This huge Texas wolf spider.
Yeah.
And I put it in there and fed it some mealworms, and it did all right for a bit, and then it was mature and it died. I was hoping it was going to have babies before it would die, but it didn't. But the I looked in there, it was dead. And I was like, and I kind of like put it on the back burner, and then I went to the hospital and all that stuff. So, it was now that I went in there and opened that container up, and it was just overrun with mealworms. They prospered eating that tarantula, or not tarantula, but wolf spider. Now I don't have a giant wolf spider to pin.
See, I have a story about when one of my I had locusts for my beardy. I'm sure it was a locust. I can't remember my brain's all a bit fuzzy with this memory. And it escaped its the vivarium, and later me and Tusk were running around trying to catch this bloody thing, and we just couldn't catch it. And then a couple of weeks later it was frickin' flying everywhere. We're like, what happened to you? It was huge.
It was a locust?
Yeah, I think so.
Did you catch it outside?
You got to define locust for all of these time zones that we're dealing with right now, because I think every single one of us probably thinks of something different when you say
I
that.
imagine most of the Americans are thinking of cicadas.
Giant grasshopper-y things.
Wait, I thought cicadas and locusts were just in the same family. Are they the same thing?
What's that?
I thought cicadas and locusts were just in the same family. Are they the same thing?
So locusts are in their Orpthera, which is the grasshopper family with grasshoppers and waders and stuff. The cicadas are true bugs. They're actually bugs in this family with stink bugs and assassin bugs. So they are true bugs. They're not real close related, but they aren't super distantly related either. But people call cicadas locusts. Those are the ones that scream up in the trees, that leave little cocoons, that have wings.
Intimately acquainted with cicadas this year.
Yes, because Brood X is out.
Yeah, my neighborhood is normally pretty quiet, but not anymore.
So, given how things have been going, I am kind of seeing the point of the cicada lifestyle, i.e., scream, reproduce, then die.
No, you gotta chill for 17 years first. Chill for 17 years.
Nice long nap.
Yeah.
Then you come out and scream and fun.
Yeah.
You got to remember though that about a quarter of the population of Brood X from 2004. I don't think the stats are in yet for this year's brood, but Brood X, when last time they emerged in 2004. About a quarter of the population was infected with that fungus that I did the video on a while back. That makes them. The fungus itself has psilocybin toxins in it.
Psilocybin?
Yeah, psilocybin. The same stuff in magic mushrooms. It's a fungus. It's a fruit. It replaces the abdomen of the abdomen dies on the insect and is replaced with a fruiting body. It's basically a mushroom is what replaces it, and it's got psilocybin in it to make them hallucinate, and they think that they're in a mating swarm, and they bounce around all crazy and spread the spores.
So you're tripping cicadas.
Yeah, so you're saying if we find cicadas if we find a cicada acting all crazy and we eat it, we could get high.
No.
We went over this when he did the stream. I did the stream. I'm sorry.
And I kept saying that. I was saying, do not eat.
Yeah, do not eat.
Yeah.
Why can't you eat them?
Pathogens mostly. You know they've been steeping in urban groundwater for the last 17 years. You want to stick that in your mouth? No, don't.
Good
Just
point.
don't.
Just
So you're
grow
saying
your own
crush it
mushrooms,
down,
man.
Crush it down and boil it.
And it was a quarter, by the way, not 3/4 Death Shot. Sorry, Eddie. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Cicadas, boil and mash them, stick them in a stew.
Yeah.
So this is just cicadas.
Sorry, go ahead.
It doesn't affect regular grasshoppers type locusts.
Cicadas are different than grasshoppers. Grasshoppers, for the most part, from the time they hatch to their adult form, they don't change a lot morphologically like cicadas do. They don't go through a lot of the same physiological changes as they molt. Grasshoppers stay pretty much the same. They may develop wings at a later state to help dispersal, but other than that, there are different fungal infections that do directly affect grasshoppers. You can look at some pictures of them out there. Anytime you see a picture of an insect with fluffy white stuff sticking out from in between its chitin, in between its cuticles, that's the infection.
Because I had an experience where I was trying to go through the drive-through ATM, and there was a swarm of locusts right like at the bank, and they were everywhere. They were flying around in the air, and I was like, I'm not rolling my car window down. I'm just gonna go to a different, I just went to a grocery store and got cash back because I was like, I'm not going to risk them getting inside my car.
I would have been out there with a net, so we're very different people.
It is kind of sad to me that learning that cicadas are called locusts, because America actually had an endemic species of locust, but it went extinct.
Rocky Mountain locust.
Yep.
They were so abundant. There was 23 billion covering it was in the numbers was in the trillion, but it was covered so many billion square kilometers of the Midwest and dead locust corpses. It was in some areas it was ankle deep, just locusts covering the ground. But the number was something like 23 trillion or something like that. I did a stream on that a while back too. I talk about all this crap on my channel.
Do they do all the damage in the Bible, or was that exaggerated?
No, they do. The Bible, it was the desert locust. I actually have a good recording of R and Ra reading that. You remember that, Junk Shop? That
vividly.
Yeah,
it's priceless.
Reading the Eighth Plague. He did a really good job on it. It's like you imagine a Southern Baptist preacher up there.
Yeah, fire and brimstone, the whole nine. There was thunder. It was beautiful.
Yeah, chills. I told Aaron that he should be a voice actor.
He really should for especially that Southern Baptist character he plays.
Yeah, that's very funny.
But the desert locust, they actually were really bad this year. Me and Amanda were talking about that back in May or something, where we were discussing the locust swarms that they're experiencing right now in North Africa are a direct result of climate change because of the way that the front moves through the Arabian Sea has been disrupted because the way seaways flow around the globe has been disrupted. Mostly just to that one, the Northwest Passage opening in 2011. I don't think has that closed back up at all since then. I think it's still flowing.
I'm not sure, but you also have a certain amount of climate area that is expanded because of the warming. Especially there are places on the planet that are much worse off than we're experiencing right now that have already exceeded the 1.5 degree, temperature hike. Places like that.
We've got mosquitoes here.
I think it's expected to open in September.
Yeah, did you not have, that's another thing too. The reason that things like COVID are able to spread like they are because disease variants are like mosquitoes are spreading because their habitats are spreading because these climate areas are becoming bigger as the globe warms.
So we got wetlands creeping in from one direction and then desertification from the other. So we're seeing an increase in both those biomes, which when it comes to wetlands.
Why I am stoned at the moment. What did I spend my morning doing?
Oh yeah, reading the which report was that? It was the new one, right?
Yeah,
see if I get a link.
Sixth IPCC report. Fucking for the second time, reading it for the second time over, and it is really Like, it's not like I didn't know, but like, it's just bleak as fuck, and yeah, it's hard.
We're all gonna
So,
die.
it's hard.
So
No,
enjoy
yeah.
yourself.
No, that's accurate.
By the way, me and Amanda will be doing a panel about some climate change denial stuff.
Watch
Here.
the show with Amanda and I where we do Devil's Advocate on that.
Oh, that was so much fun. Phoebe used to be a climate
It wasn't fun. It made me want to slap Phoebe. I don't like wanting to slap Phoebe.
Yeah,
No,
but
yeah, I
was
mean, I
able
really
to-
wish there were more climate change videos out there. I know everybody, like, I don't know, gets
Problem
kind of
is-
changed out or think it's boring, but like, we really need to be running
Ouch.
around like our hair is on fire.
Right.
Like we are actively dying.
Sorry.
But you
And
can only
people are just
repeat
like-
it so many times. It's not like it's new information. It's not like there's any new information. We are repeating the same thing, and it
Yeah.
gets
But
dull
it's-
very quickly.
It's not, but it's not though. There is
We are dying.
information, stuff
We're
that's
dying.
happening
Well,
we didn't expect to happen. The
Why am I not
rate
dead
of-
yet?
You
What we
know,
need to do is keep people taking this all as one problem. COVID is just the first of many pandemics that we're going to see
No.
exacerbated by climate change. This is just the first. There's going to be so many more events that can be linked back to anthropogenic, or yeah, I lost my train of thought. Anthropogenic.
But it doesn't all have to be
Sorry.
like one thing,
Which-
right?
By
We have
the
the-
way, the IPCC report basically says, "Bitch, please, there is no other fucking option." Like,
Right.
obviously, I'm, but seriously, I don't know. Like they
So-
took
The
a
biggest-
really super duper hard stance this time, and is like, enough is enough with trying to with the conspiracy theories and stuff. We need, this is our fucking data. We've been doing this for a long time. Everything points to it being anthropogenic. In fact, there was anthropogenic warming prior to the Industrial Revolution, because of the biofuel that we were using, just in terms of
Agriculturally too. I mean,
yeah, it was
You can
something.
see, you can see it in the ice cores.
I don't
Yeah,
I don't
it
think
was only-
spreading awareness is like a problem with climate change, because really it's like the biggest industries in the world, like the executives of these companies, they know what they're doing, but capitalism is just too powerful, so they just don't care. And really, like like driving a hybrid car and recycling is not really going to matter if the big industries like oil companies are just going to be ruining the earth anyway. So I just,
Phoebe, can I ask you a question regarding that from your previous perspective? Who did you listen to? Who, like, as far as because once you get someone like Amanda who's got these, I put the link there, the IPCC, and put it out in the live chat for everybody to see, and so that we have data from the professionals who work in this field. Who did you listen to that gave you kind of an opposition to that?
It was a mix of the same people that were spouting the things that got me into ethno-nationalism, would also tag this on the end as well. There's a Canadian guy who used to do scientific modeling, who is also a white nationalist who I used to listen to, and he would feed it in and roll it in as well. So it was all rolled in as well as part of the conspiracies to control everybody. And the individual was a man named Stefan Molyneux, if you know the name.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, he is well known.
Yeah, we know that guy.
And
Oh,
that was one of them.
that reminds me. I have a recipe for eggs Molyneux.
So there weren't there weren't any so-called climate scientists that you were listening to at all. It was just
Well, I was of the arrogant opinion that I was educated on it with my degree, that I didn't need to bother to read any of it.
well, I mean,
Burn your degree now.
I still can't get over that though, Phoebe. Come the fuck on.
So I was wondering if it was honestly, that was one of the names that was running through my head. Also, I didn't figure you were the type to listen to talking head people like Ben Shapiro, or somebody who doesn't know what you were probably never someone who would.
The reason that it was like a Molyneux over Shapiro is because Molyneux is not overtly homophobic and he's not overtly transphobic, whereas Shapiro is.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Between the two. Whereas Molyneux will say on his show, I don't really give a toss. And he has a call-in show where trans people have phoned in and he's been polite and he's spoken with them. Whereas Ben Shapiro just endorses books like that nonsense by Stock, Irreversible Damage, and shit like that.
Yeah. When it comes to homophobia and transphobia, Ben Shapiro is kind of he's like working to normalize that.
Absolutely.
And there's people that say, yeah, he's right. That should be normalized. We should be able to say, hey, look, you're a. I don't know. They use tongue in cheek. You're the bundle of sticks and stuff like that.
Here's the question: would, in theory, Ben Shapiro be fine with normalizing anti-Semitism?
Right. I doubt that very much. Yeah.
No, he's like the king of, I don't know what the word is, but like, I take exception to. I don't like this when it's happening to me, but it's okay if you do it to these other groups. He's like the king of that.
Yeah, that's kind of his almost his theme.
As Katie Montgomery says, he's one of the good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can't remember the last time I thought about Ben Shapiro this much and for this much time straight.
Yeah.
I feel dirty.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple of comments, tagging back. So I could either quote a climate scientist, or I could tack on to the whole there's definitely going to be another pandemic thing and talk about how our lack of socialized healthcare is actually a national security issue.
It is?
Wait, the U.S.?
Yeah, massively.
Oh, yeah, 100%. We know this.
Yeah.
I mean, what I don't understand is the numbers for Canada and Russia versus the US. I mean, Canada and Russia come out of this fantastically if we let climate change go. They have an active incentive to continue, and it will ruin the US in the short term. I mean, the UK's fucked anyway, regardless, to be honest. But
UK was fucked before we started.
Yes, this is my point. But the US versus, like I said, Russia and Canada. The way we're going at the moment, Canada and Russia are quids in.
Well, the UK could open up to a more of a tropical climate. They can. I know that down in down on the southern on the coast, that they are able to grow tropical plants down there that were Mediterranean before, that they couldn't keep alive any time before.
Treating porky is the phrase.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I mean,
exactly.
if it gets any worse, the UK is going to go the way of Doggerland. I mean, we should probably,
So what you're saying is the last remnant of Doggerland will go the way of the rest of Doggerland.
Western Doggerland will now join Eastern Doggerland. But Western Doggerland is so important to our heritage. People who want to preserve heritage.
They can't, they can't because they can't farm on permafrost. But like, Chad, do you not watch my video on permafrost? So it won't be a problem much longer. No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But
permafrost can't melt. It's called permafrost. Everybody knows that.
And in fact, I say in my video that you don't say it melts; it thaws. Permafrost thaws because there is no change in state when it comes to the rocks.
If global warming is a thing, why do we have winter?
Yeah.
Checkmate.
You got your snowball there.
He just said the global warming, and
I'm trying not to.
She's ignoring that.
He's being facetious, of course.
But interesting point that I may be 100% wrong on. Manda, feel free to correct me if I'm talking out my ass. But global warming is actually causing what actually caused the polar vortexes. Because as the way I understand it, and I'm a complete layperson, so I may be talking out my ass, but basically, what keeps all the cold Arctic air up in the Arctic during the winter is the jet stream. And because of global warming, the jet stream got weaker because the temperature differential wasn't that, as big, which let the polar vortex come down.
It would be a hard sell.
The rising global temperatures is what caused the shift in climate there, that caused the polar vortices.
I think that's why the Pacific Northwest had this heat wave recently.
Yeah, that has to do with sea ice too. All this comes back to sea ice, really. But
and those people, they don't even have air conditioning, which I live in Texas, so I can't even fathom that.
Come to the UK, air conditioning is like a thing that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a novelty. It's definitely a novelty.
Air conditioning is so.
Yesterday, and I was freezing.
AC is so critical to my life. I have an app on my phone that lets me change the air conditioning temperature.
Right. Yeah, I live in the Mississippi Valley.
We have windows.
They'll open the window and let the humidity in. That's mainly what I have it for. Is humidity is more so than the temperature. I pulling that
much more pain.
Air.
I get much more pain if it's humid.
Yeah, that's much worse.
Can I finish answering, Ray? Please, thanks.
Go on.
All right. So yes, it is the warming of the global temperature. True. But calling it just that wording, global warming, in and of itself kind of replaces climate change. That's all. And it's a misnomer when people blanket it as being climate change.
Well, we all know that Al Gore invented global warming, and now they've changed it to climate change. They changed the term. It's a fact. Steven Crowder told me.
But
hey! I knew that it was all a conspiracy by Al Gore because he lost the 2000 election, and they couldn't allow the Illuminati and the Sons of Zion and the Elders of Jacob and all this stuff to actually get into the White House with him because he was so dangerous. They had to find any method possible to stop him, and those 5 Supreme Courts elected by Daddy and Daddy's friends had to stop the most dangerous president we never had.
Al Gore is the most dangerous man in the world.
I think we need an intervention. Poor Phoebe's brain has been hijacked by 33 UC. Thank you, Amanda.
I blame MK Ultra personally.
I want to know what Phoebe still holds that's nuts.
Cashews, pistachios.
But
that's not nearly as hot as I thought that would be.
I was trying to work out where to go when I phrased that.
Well, let's put it this way. The nuts between my legs, they disappeared in 2015, they did.
Please somebody quote that.
Has anyone seen the movie Pat, the SNL character? Are you guys familiar with that?
It's Pat, yeah. The androgynous character.
Yeah, there's a scene in that movie where Pat falls down a flight of stairs, and then she says, "Oh, my nuts!" And then you see a cutaway to where she's got a some pistachios or something in her hand that have been crushed.
But
that character was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
So Dave, what kind of things do you think I possibly do hold as a position that's,
I don't
quote,
know.
Unquote, nuts?
I don't know. This is the point.
Do you have any? She wanted to know if you have any crazy right-wing ideology left. Any residual?
How does she know what was crazy right wing? If there is something in her head that she hasn't challenged yet, that's the problem.
Evolution, you're on board with that, right?
Now.
Are you on board? Are you on board with evolution?
Yes.
Okay. That's a sticking point for me. That's to me what. Maybe me and a few other people here.
How do you pronounce GIF?
GIF.
What, like with a hard G?
GIS.
Yeah, GIF, GIF or GIF.
Like Jif the peanut butter, or GIF with like a
No,
We don't have
like a
GIFs.
gift.
Wait there. This needs an answer before I kick it.
It's pronounced like the cleaning product used to be fair.
No.
I'm not familiar with the
You are
cleaning
the
product.
last
I live in
fucking
Freedom
person in
Land.
this world to be told to be telling people they need to answer a fucking question, Dave.
This is a good question for
I'll answer the
critical
question
questions,
after you
actually. I say
It's
GIF. I'll
It's
say that
GIF.
right now. GIF.
GIF.
Yes.
It's the right answer.
It's
It's the only
yeah.
answer.
Though in regards to evolution, when I was in high school,
Were they trying to push creationism on you?
no, I was already so indoctrinated when I was in high school because I went to a church school from 2nd to 8th grade that I purposely flunked the first month or so of world history because that segment was on human evolution.
Way to show them.
It is a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
Failing basic high school courses to own libs. No.
Crashing
Well,
my
folks,
car
I'm
to
gonna
own the
have to
libs.
jump off. I'm gonna have to jump off. Bree, congratulations on being you. Just know that you are loved, you are supported, and anytime you need to talk about anything, it does not need to be about anything. Anytime you need to talk, I'm there. Okay.
All
love you
right.
guys.
Oh, thank you, Crafty. Much love from the Hive.
I love the Hive. I love the Hive. You know that.
Thank you for coming, Crafty. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so
Does
to
anyone else have
continue
any
that,
more positions that they think that I could hold that are completely and utterly ridiculous?
What was the reason for the Civil War?
I mean, you didn't answer the last one, so
Yeah.
One at a time.
You haven't answered the last one, which makes me think you're wrong.
I don't know
Yeah.
what the question
Yeah,
was.
answer.
GIF or Jeff?
How do you pronounce GIF?
I said it's pronounced like the cleaning product, so therefore it's used.
but I don't know what the cleaning product is in reference to.
Oh, it's Jif.
Yeah.
Like Jiffy?
Oh, that's bullshit.
No, it's Jif. We've
Not
got
just
Jif
the
here.
small
We
one.
don't have your funny fucking peanut butter.
You guys have something named Jif that is a cleaning product, and ours is peanut butter.
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't get confusing.
And yet they're the same color.
It's that bargain basement peanut butter. If you really work at it, you can use it to scrub things. It's got
Also,
It does
seeing
get
as
into nooks and crannies.
In your nooks and crannies, peanut butter? No, don't do that.
No.
What about your
Yeah,
question
no.
now?
When you scrub with the chunky one,
Oh,
with the chunks in it, it gets into the nooks and crannies when you're cleaning.
Yeah,
That's not cleaning. That's making a mess worse.
yeah,
I'm here.
You don't wash your car with crunchy peanut butter?
Yeah,
but,
who doesn't? You get little random creatures cleaning your car for you with their tongue. It's interesting, yet fun because you're feeding the wild animals at the
Yeah.
same time.
Let the deer come and clean it off with their.
Yeah.
You're not really feeding them. You're more just making them like have peanut butter stuck on the roof of their mouth, and then they stick their tongue out for 30 minutes. At least that's what my dog does.
They're still eating. So
That's
wait,
true.
Wolf, where are you putting this peanut butter?
You're creating an unhealthy dependency in the wildlife.
I'm
This is socialist
relationship
propaganda.
with wild
that
You
animals.
are an enabler.
Maybe just a little bit. I did have to hop off really shortly because I did promise that I was gonna stream a movie on my server, and I keep my promises. But I do also want to say thank you for having me, and well done, and you're coming out, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
And I would love to talk to you all again at some point. It'll be really
Yeah, we
fun.
still need to set up a time to talk, me and you too, on your hobby show.
I would love that. when you're free and whenever you're ready, just you send me a message.
All right.
The invitation's always open.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Thank you for coming by.
As much as I want to stay,
God damn it!
I'm being harangued by the person that I'm going to dinner with tonight because they're getting there early, and that's really annoying me. So they told me they'd be there at 7. They then said, no, I'll be there at 20 to 7. Now they're going to be there in 20 minutes. So I've got to get my arse in gear and get out of my property and say, Bree, it's been a pleasure to meet you for realsies. Thank you. To the other people in here who think I'm a complete lunatic, you are correct, but I'm not a lunatic in the way that you think I am. It is with a lot of love that I say this. It will be scary, but it'll be the happiest scared you've ever been in your life.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for you were in here before I was to talk about this. So I appreciate that. There's a net of support when I fell into this after party stream. So thank you so much for being there, everybody.
Anyway, if you want to be on my show, hit me up on the Twitbox. I'm going now. Bye now. And then everyone's going to say. Now, once I've left, everyone's going to say rude things about me. So bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Very
So,
good thing
I-
about Phoebe. No, I'm kidding.
So
I'm kidding.
seeing as how Phoebe is British, I think I can answer that cause of the Civil War question. You know, seeing as how Phoebe is British, the answer would be the Catholics got uppity.
Yeah.
Different Civil War.
Yeah, if you ask somebody about the U.S. Civil War, the wrong answer is for them to say states' rights. That means they're a racist.
Yeah, they're avoiding the obvious.
No, See, that's when you answer. That's when you reply with states' rights to what?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Hey,
To own...
Dave, can you bump Amanda up a little bit? She's very soft.
Not bad.
I don't know.
What's really bad is when they won't refer to it as the Civil War; they'll call it the War of Northern Aggression.
No, it's not the war; it's the war. The war of northern aggression.
and it ain't over yet.
Can somebody
South
explain
will
that?
rise again.
I've been a northern girl all my life, so can someone how was the North being aggressive?
By telling them they couldn't keep people as property.
I don't understand that term.
It's like, okay, so I'll put yourself in this position. So imagine that you're just out in your yard with your human property, and you're whipping it away, making it grow your garden, and your neighbor comes over and tells you, hey, you can't have that person as property. That's the aggression right there. That neighbor, they need to mind their business unless you just beat your human property in your own yard in front of them and not say anything.
It's the same aggression that, people who fought for civil rights had because they wanted equality. They were taking away something from, they have this idea that equality means taking away because they lose their privilege, maybe. I don't know. So that felt aggressive to them.
Also, that they've always done.
Yeah, basically.
Also, alternatively, and forewarned pre-apologies to anyone who is from the South.
Well, I'm offended already.
But to see them damn Yankees elected that Abraham Lincoln as president, and even though we boycotted the election, so we had to secede.
They wanted Douglas, right? That's who the South wanted as president. It was
there were like a bunch of other candidates running against Lincoln, and a lot of southern states didn't even have him on the ballot.
He says it's not my fucking fault I was born here.
That Summer is saying that the North was being aggressive by getting in the way of the shells at Fort Sumter.
Fort Sumter?
Fort Sumter is there. The South.
That horrible grinding sound you hear is Shelby Foote picking up speed in his grave.
Yeah. I've been to Fort Sumter. It's pretty cool if you get a chance to go there. It's still open. One of the few Civil War forts is still open in South Carolina, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, furthest southeast I've been is Oklahoma.
Have you ever seen a cannon from that era?
Unfortunately, not.
Yeah, you can't. I can't even fathom about the length of a train car. I guess is a good way to describe it, which makes sense because they had to be at least short enough to fit on a train car. So
yeah, but yeah, my home state didn't even exist yet.
To be fair, most of
Mine
British
did,
history
unfortunately.
says about your country.
Yeah.
We've got pubs older than your country.
Yeah, basically all they teach about my state, all we learn in our state history class is essentially just Lewis and Clark.
you don't talk about all the French trappers and stuff that really made that area accessible to the European invaders because they carried all these fun diseases and pathogens to the native population via trade.
It's mostly Lewis and
You
Clark.
need to keep your woke nonsense out of the public education system. You're going to.
I'm going back to school to be a science teacher, but I'll teach history too if they want me to.
Oh,
you want to hear some bullshit? Okay, so I grew up in Connecticut, which was basically, especially our shoreline, was built by whalers, and so that was a lot of our state history. And I mean, I'm not going to say that they disregarded how horrible it was, but they didn't even come close to. They never mentioned the fact that some of the whale species were driven to extinction. They didn't even show like what they did to get this whale oil out and stuff. Like, oh my god, it is
so terrible about that with subspecies. Because there are subspecies that we will never even know because there's not enough pathologies difference that we can examine now. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
those
species
whales were being
know.
aggressive. Those whales were being aggressive.
Or
when I was getting my master's, that was one of the species that I had picked up on because I thought, I'm from Connecticut. I know a little bit about this. I knew fucking nothing. I knew nothing. Oh my god, it's horrible. So yeah, they don't teach the dirty stuff in America. So
they teach you
here's another thing. The town I live in had an internment camp. I didn't learn that until years after I graduated.
Like a internment camp from World War II, Japanese internment camp.
Yeah, Japanese internment camp.
I got it even better. I found out literally like a couple weeks ago that Benedict Arnold was born 2 towns from mine.
Okay.
Wasn't Benedict Arnold a hero?
That's that. Yeah, say Dave's not going to have the same opinion of Benedict Arnold as we do.
Okay, I am going to devil's advocate.
Place for my face to freeze.
Or rather, I'm going to Judas's advocate, Benedict Arnold. To be fair,
he was tricked by Badge, basically.
Also, he was completely fucked over by Congress because they wouldn't pay his troops.
Yeah, that is true. But I mean, still.
Yeah.
Nobody was getting paid. Everybody was starving.
Yeah.
I was told nothing about Benedict Arnold. He was a traitor and like that. He was like the first traitor. I think that, that was
Did Benedict Arnold turn over West Point to the hated British?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was the basic American villain, I guess, and that's all we really learned about him. But I was just so surprised. Like, I'm pretty sure I knew he was from Connecticut, but the fact that it was literally 2 towns from where I grew up, I was like, God damn, I feel like I should have known that.
Here's a fun American history fact to bring up when someone tries to do the America was funded as a Christian, funded as a Christian nation. Only one state was set up as a theocracy, and that was Massachusetts. Another of the original colonies, Rhode Island, was set up by people fleeing that theocracy.
Yeah.
So Massachusetts, what was that? That was the
Quakers.
Puritans.
It was the pure.
Yeah, Rhode Island was set up by Quakers fleeing Massachusetts.
Is that why? Is that why people from Providence sound like discount Bostonians?
Yeah.
You know what's funny too is that you all sound the same to us people out here in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you. Not me. I have no accent. Oh, I have a
You
little bit.
have a very neutral accent. I think it's because you did like a triangle from the New England down
No,
to
it's just Connecticut itself. Connecticut doesn't really have an accent, but my mother is from Boston. What?
Boston.
Your accent.
Connecticut's got this weird thing at the end of words.
They're called vowels.
Another fun thing. Apparently, when I'm in the UK, apparently my accent sounds Canadian.
Yes, not much.
Yeah,
but a little bit.
Do I sound more Canadian or more Southern?
Southern.
You sound more Southern. Wink sounds more Canadian.
Yeah.
Okay. I was surprised you weren't from.
I mean, neither are strong in those directions. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, you kind of sound like maybe like Tennessee or like you're in between.
He does not sound like Tennessee. Nothing she says sounds like Tennessee.
I mean,
not against someone from Tennessee.
You have to cross Mississippi, and that's where you find my.
When you get really southern Illinois, you kind of get those southern influences, and that's.
Oh, I'm actually from Missouri though, so it's
okay.
It's
I'm from Illinois, so that.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my kind of point of reference. Now I'm in Maryland, and we get everybody from everywhere.
Yeah. Where I'm at in Illinois right now really is a focal point of a whole bunch of different cultural accents. You have the Chicago accent, Chicago, and it's kind of up into the rest of the Great Lake area, I guess, and then you got your upper Midwest, which is what Ring's accent a little bit, like Fargo, just a tad.
Well, which is really funny because, I'd never been outside the PNW, until I turned 21.
Yeah.
PNW being Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
A lot of people have that experience.
And then in Illinois, you also have. Then you got she was saying about kind of a southern because you got it's bordered by Kentucky, Tennessee, and Missouri. The whole bottom part of Illinois is. So it's there's southern culture there. You can kind of see it in the way that they name their towns too. They name them very much like they do in Kentucky. Everything's got "ville" on the end.
Illinois. Fun thing about Illinois. Fun Illinois story.
That's a contradiction in terms.
Fun facts about Illinois: you don't pronounce the S. God damn it.
Yeah.
Illinois.
Illinois.
Okay.
Swim across the goddamn Atlantic and strangle you to death. Stop.
But anyways, me and Noodle, were driving from Fort Campbell to where I live to meet my family. And we had a quick pit stop in Illinois, right next to the door. Right underneath a picture of Abraham Lincoln was a stand of flags for sale, and most prominently displayed right next to this picture of right beneath this picture of Abraham Lincoln, the Confederate flag. Or what we call the Confederate flag today.
Yeah, the Confederate battle flag. And just to clarify, you do pronounce the S on Illinois when you're using it possessively, like Illinois' own monarch butterfly population or something like that. You could
But
pronounce the
don't-
S
don't
there.
enable
No, that's an
that.
extra S.
Or
Don't
if you're talking
enable
about the album "Come On Feel the Illinois,"
No.
you know,
Oh.
when I can definitely tell people who are Canadian from their accent because they'll say like against, or they'll say like the way they say sorry,
Sorry.
or they don't really say a boot.
Yes, they do.
That's an exaggeration.
No, it's not. It really isn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes when Neil gets like really drunk or high, sometimes it'll come out a little bit more booty.
Yeah, it's like slightly. I mean, maybe I haven't heard that personally, but
No, yeah, I mean it's in some parts.
I think all our
but we-
regional
we-
accents pop
Yeah.
out when we get a little inebriated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't forget, they
horrible.
sound worse to people that are further away from them. If that makes sense.
You sound like you're
Is
from
that why
Liverpool
you
to
sound
me.
so terrible?
Do I?
I always said his fucking accent was posh. But what the fuck do I know?
My accent's not posh at all.
Yeah, I
Also,
don't hear it.
Bullshit.
also a famous rock band was actually sued for a copyright infringement by a local Illinois governing body, and they had to change their name because of it.
What governing body?
What band?
The band is known as Chicago.
Oh,
What
they-
did
the
they
governing
used to be called?
They were originally called the Chicago Transit Authority, and the Chicago Transit Authority sued them. So they changed their name.
What?
Some people have too much time on their hands.
No, it's government, right? That's the answer. Government.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
the governing body was Jesse the Body Ventura.
I
no,
refuse to be
he-
governed by Jesse Ventura.
What state was he?
Wisconsin,
Minnesota.
wasn't it? Minnesota. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Minnesota. My grandma was
Also,
from Minnesota.
also, I typed it in the chat during the stream, but I think the reason there aren't any mosquitoes as a state insect is because Minnesota has them as their state bird.
I need to make a slight diversion. Everyone needs to go and sub to Ring. There's something going on apparently.
Oh yes, me and Godless Sewing are trying to race to the nearest 100.
I thought there were 3 people in the race.
Jeff already won. Me and Sewing are racing for silver.
How'd you?
What's the number you're racing to? Just the nearest 100?
Yeah, because I'm trying to get to 200. Sewing's trying to get to 100.
I'm already.
You aren't to 200 yet? You've been doing this? Oh, come on, people. All my people, anybody out there.
Is the
So
link
he just-
in the private chat for the
It's-
channel?
The link. 2 seconds.
It's out in the live chat. Godless.
Yeah,
Godless posted
I
it.
am. I'm currently at 180.
And Jeff, drop your link too. Gotta.
You're going to
uh,
drop Jeff's link on my channel. No one, no one that watches my channel is not subscribed to Jeff.
Yeah.
I'll put a link to my channel. Maybe I shouldn't, but I'll do it anyway.
And Godless Sewing is. I'll do a quick check. Godless Sewing is at 87, so he's got me by 7 subscribers.
I remember me and Junk Shop used to race. Back when we first started.
days.
We raced to 100. We were pretty close together. We'll get into 100. So.
Oh, we were neck and neck there for a minute. Then you got all fancy and started putting out quality content and editing shit.
Well,
Yeah, you
turns
guys,
out people actually like that kind of
upon
crap.
me.
you guys should help me try to catch up to Bree because I'm trying to get to 500.
Oh yeah, and subscribe to Atheist Junior too. Absolutely.
I make good videos.
Yeah, and it's funny stuff too. with and then who are the people you've talked to so far? Because you've talked to some of Kent Hoven's ex-wives and ex cult members is the only way I can think of to describe them.
Well, I've done a few interviews on my channel, kind of two categories. One is like I've talked to Kent Hoven's ex-wife, Cindy Lincoln, and then I've talked to like two people who used to be at Dinosaur Adventureland and left on bad terms with Kent Hoven. And then I've done interviews on my channel with Arn Ra and Erica Gutsick Gibbon and Dr. Dan. The most recent one I did on that category was with Hemant Mehta, the friendly atheist, and that was a really good interview. But yeah,
I ran an assault on Dinosaur Adventureland to get Kent Hoven's tax returns as a D&D module.
oh yeah, I remember seeing that some of that video.
All right. Well, if my camera crashes one more time or I have any more of these strange audio issues that thank God y'all haven't been able to hear, I'm going to go out of what's left of my mind. So I'm going to head out here. Bree? Yeah. I am so glad I got up at a reasonable hour today.
I'm glad you were there. I'm glad, and thank you so much for sharing that out too. That I had a big announcement today.
Oh, absolutely! I was curious beyond curious.
I had been off. I hadn't been doing my streams for. This was actually my first one in August, and the last couple of weeks I hadn't done one. I planned the first one to be off and had made announcements that it wasn't going to be the first week of August is going to be a standard for my show that I'm not going to be here on. So no big deal there. That second week was not planned for and was very, very traumatic week for me. So thank you everybody for coming back after being gone for so long. Thank you so much, Junk Shop, for all the support you've always given my channel. The Hive and the library right there together since pretty much the beginning. Love you.
Absolutely. I love you, my friend.
Yep.
Be safe, everyone.
Bye.
And speaking of your D&D quest to Dinosaur Adventureland, I can't believe you didn't do a side quest where we could get my lost giant cockroach fossil that Kent Hoven supposedly had.
Who knows? Who knows? There could be other things in the works.
Yeah. Well, AJ knows what I'm talking about there. There's he claims that Kent Hoven claims to have a fossil of a cockroach that was like 50 centimeters long or something like that. It's a ridiculously huge number, and there's no such species of cockroach anywhere, but it never has been.
Yeah, but
why would it be any different from everything else he makes up?
Right.
Yeah, that's true. But I wanted to sort of finish talking to you about Matt Powell, because earlier I didn't really get to say that, because you were saying that when Matt Powell made a response to you, you kind of had trouble understanding exactly what even he was claiming or what the response was. And I had the exact same reaction. I genuinely had a lot of trouble understanding what the hell he was even saying.
Yeah, I had to kind of go through his comment section and read his responses to his fan base to understand what he was trying to say about what I had said. And even then, it was still kind of ambiguous. What he was saying is that I said you don't have good sources for the things you're making, and this isn't backed by the science. And him showing again the same sources that he used originally that were not good sources. And
Fox News is not a good source.
No, I've got a super chat from Jeff that says, "I'm still annoyed that D&D game wasn't enough to get myself and Ring into Whack an Atheist."
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Get AJ on there. You'll get on Whack an Atheist.
Yeah, I've been featured on Whack an Atheist and Kent's channel more than once.
Do you play D&D?
I haven't played it myself, but I am familiar with the rules and the game itself. And I would like to play it. I just don't have friends.
Yeah, but getting together a campaign to do something silly like that would be would be fun. We can come up with all kinds of concepts. Yeah, I don't even. I played back when I was in high school, but I haven't played in a long time.
Yeah, what I did when I was in like middle school was I was playing like the Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game. Like I would play in tournaments and stuff. But yeah, no. And I would see people because I would go to this card shop called Purple Cactus, and I would see people playing Warhammer 40K with the little figurines and stuff, and I thought that looked really cool and Magic. But I never saw anybody playing D&D, so I didn't learn about it until just recently, really.
But since we're talking D&D and since Bree's here, I'll go ahead and bring up like one of my, I can't really call it my favorite homebrewed monster because it's the only one I've homebrewed, but it's something I call the Wasp Mummy.
The wasp mummy, is it burst out of a mummy? It's a big wasp?
Well, yeah. Basically, it's I basically took a mummy and and basically run the mummy as is, and then when it's killed, a wasp bursts out of its chest, alien style.
Like it was being controlled by the wasp the whole time, huh?
Yeah.
Like a parasite wasp.
Yep.
Ooh, you could even have it like levitate and have like the bandages behind it just fluttering, but you can see the wings kind of through the rib cage a little bit when it's still a mummy. So you're like, it could be like, hey, there's something insectoid going on here, but not clear what it is. And then when it bursts out, it's like,
oh yeah, and I can when I've run them, I had them. I mentioned that they're that you can hear buzzing from inside the mummy.
Yeah. What I was thinking was like you have like I don't know like a campaign or something, and you have the people enter like an ancient crypt, and there's these sarcophaguses that obviously shouldn't be disturbed. But, of course, somebody has to open one of them, and then a bunch of wasps just fly out.
Yeah. Well, and I don't. So you've played some D&D back in the day, Bree. Are you familiar with Dark Sun?
With what?
Dark Sun.
No, I'm not.
The campaign. Okay. So, but yeah, basically in my own kind of homebrew lore, the wasp mummies are, or the wasp inside the wasp mummy, are the juvenile stage of the Thrycreen, which is the D&D bug people.
So there's bug people in D&D?
Yeah. They were originally made for the Dark Sun setting, which is like kind of a post-apocalyptic desert world. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know how they're lore wise supposed to be run, but I kind of picture them as like a eusocial kind of desert nomad.
So they're more like hymenopterans, then they're more like wasp and ants and.
Well, that's how I kind of run them, but I think I think canonically they're more like mantids that run in loose groups.
Okay. Well, say mantids are a part of a group or clade that does tend towards the eusocial society, which culminates in termites, because that's Bladone or Bladoday, I think it is the clade's name, that mantises, roaches, and termites. And actually, termites are a type of roach, but So they do that group does tend towards being eusocial, and they do thrive in a desert environment. So that's not a bad concept either to go the mantis direction.
That also learning that termites weren't related to, ants and wasps blew my mind.
Where did you learn that at?
From you.
That makes me so happy when I teach somebody something and it sticks. Oh, thank you. You made my day.
Hey, I'm gonna jump off, but I will not make a big long speech. But Bree, I'll just say you do you, boo.
Thank you, AJ.
Okay, bye, y'all.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Jenny, did you watch Bree's stream?
Oh, absolutely. I was making all kinds of snarky comments.
I saw Jenny in my side chat. Thank you for being there, Jenny. I'm glad you were able to be there for that.
I'm very, very. I tried to write you a DM a couple times, and I kept screwing it up and deleting it. So I'll just say it in person. I am so very happy for you, and I am so very proud of you that you were able to come out in such a public fashion and be so brave about the whole thing. It's very impressive, and I'm very, very happy for you that your wife is sticking with you. You've got it going, kid. And I hope for you the very best, and do not ever hesitate to get a hold of me for questions, concerns, an ear, a shoulder to cry on, whatever you need. I'm always there for you.
Thank you, Jenny.
Yeah,
I'm so happy that you were able to be there for that, and I was hoping that some people from the community would be there too, because I was actually afraid that once I started talking about that and I started picking up on that in the algorithm, and the people who watch my channel from my family would start spreading it around, and I get some bad commentary. I was planning for that, because my brain things always go the worst that they could possibly ever go, So
yeah, well, it gets better from here on.
Jeff wants to know if you officially get invited to the trans agenda meetings now.
Well, I've been going to the gay agenda meetings, and I've just been kind of hanging out. They haven't said anything to me about not being in there, but I guess now that I'm a lesbian, I could be part of that.
Did the person who recruited you get their free microwave yet?
I don't know. They might be in this panel, so they'd have to answer that. Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, thank you for being there. Everybody who was there, Rain, you were there from the beginning. Dave,
yep.
I think everybody who's here now was there. I know.
I did ask you a question though in the last show that you didn't get to.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah. What's your question?
When you were talking about praying mantises, I wondered if there was such a thing as an atheist mantis.
Oh. Oh goodness! I thought you were. I thought you were going to be asking a. Oh, that's good. That's good stuff. Whew.
A deeply
I
personal
more lighthearted
question.
stuff like that.
So.
But yeah. I always thought they should just change it to praying on food. I think that they should keep the common name and just switch it to praying, because they do prey on insects, on flies.
Yeah,
mostly.
I've seen it spelled both ways.
Yeah.
Oh, so I thought it was PRA, and so I also wondered if there was ever such a thing as a.
It is spelled PRAY.
Yeah.
So it is spelled like praying, because the way they stand like this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So like they're in prayer, but I don't have a problem with it. I when it comes to common names, the only time I have a problem with it is if it marginalizes people. Like we talked about the gypsy moth a couple of weeks ago. Rain, you remember that?
Yeah.
I'm all for changing the name on that, because why keep it? Because it's a very destructive species. It's not particularly charismatic in any way, and to tag it with the name that, even though that name is not so derogatory to this point, it just seems pointless. Why?
And yeah, it's right. Like from what I know, it's right. They people of that ethnicity prefer to be called travelers.
Yeah. I know that the what they call the Romani is what they.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Romani and other.
But that's a very specific group of the broader net that Gypsy was meant to cover. When people use
and that wide net prefer to be called travelers.
Yeah.
Tuska's got no problem with it.
To their credit, though, if I'm thinking of the right bug, they have a beautiful caterpillar.
It's very spiky
and colorful.
Yeah,
and reds and
his aposematic colorations say, "Hey, don't touch me," which seems to work because they don't get much opposition and much pushback in any kind of ecology that they seem to find themselves in, but they can be devastating to the foliage if they get out of control.
Yeah, my foot is not afraid of their coloration.
Yeah,
they're invasive, so don't feel bad about wiping them out if you see them.
That's why I don't hesitate.
And in regards to comments that were missed, I had one during the Conservapedia section. When they were just going back with pork good, pork bad, pork good.
Right. It was written by, that's the main thing. I was so annoyed when I got to that. I was like, I can't even read this anymore. It's just, these are literally two people arguing as they write the article.
Yeah.
Over.
Yeah. So at least the way I learned it growing up is, so the reason Christians are allowed to eat non-kosher animals is because Peter had a vision where Jesus came down and was eating vultures and shit, and he was like, "Dude, it's okay. You can eat whatever you want."
Ew! Don't eat vultures. Vultures are very. They tend to carry a lot of parasites and.
It listed a bunch of different I don't think vultures were mentioned specifically, but it did say unclean animals.
That's what you said. Yeah, I get it. That's what my mind pops to too. It's carrion feeding organisms.
And so the thing is, it's ironic that it was Peter that supposedly had the vision, which also he took as a sign as it's okay to proselytize to Gentiles, because when Peter once again I'm going to biblical / church tradition, when Peter and Paul had the big dust up over whether or not Gentiles should circumcise on conversion, Peter was on the circumcision side.
Yeah. It's so weird that became a thing culturally over here in the U.S. to circumcise, because it's almost rare to find somebody who's not circumcised over here, to the point that there's whole different aspects to intercourse that we don't even come up.
I can't comprehend it, because you didn't have it. It wasn't an American thing. It wasn't there, and then 100 and something years ago, all of a sudden, do you know what? Let's go back to fucking.
So here's why. Here's why. Basically, it boils down to, as most things do in the U.S., purity culture. Because basically circumcision was one of the myriad of ways, along with eating cornflakes.
Or no, cornflakes, that's right.
Yeah. to like try and get guys or try and get AMAB people to stop self-servicing.
I think it's a real problem if you are so obsessed with other people masturbating that much that you have to put all this effort into like.
No, when you wait. When you say that you're so obsessed with now, I spend a lot of time watching videos of people masturbating in them, so I kind of take offense to that. I'm not gonna lie.
Have you come up with any new breakfast cereals?
No, I'll keep you posted though.
Okay, I will amend that to people who don't want you to know what they're doing to their personal bits. How about that?
Yeah.
Never mind.
Sorry, I had to be all pervy on it.
Yeah.
I'm sex positive. If you want to watch porn, watch porn.
Yeah.
You want to
unless the banks tell you you're not allowed to.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you find yourself at a point in your life where you're like, I can masturbate or I can eat some cereal, I'd say you got more stuff that you need to be focused on in your life than either one of those things, because it doesn't sound like you're living a very fulfilling life.
Well, yeah. So the story behind cornflakes is Kellogg. Basically got it into his head, and of course it's during the whole like I think we're on the Second Great Awakening at this point in American history.
So
but
early 1950s kind of,
well, like early 1900s ish.
So that was the First Great Awakening, right?
No, like the First Great Awakening was like in the 1800s.
Like, so this is following the antebellum collapse and all that. And then,
but there's a whole purity movement where you're not allowed to be lustful, essentially. And Kellogg gets it into his head that food with flavor stirs up, gets the energy going. So in order to not be horny, you have to eat bland food. And thus he invents cornflakes.
I like cornflakes.
The only way that cornflakes works as an anti-masturbatory aid is if you try and use it to masturbate.
Ow! I don't know. There are people who
milk first.
Are in the pain.
Oh God. Hey Dave.
Yeah.
You gonna make the app that replaces OnlyFans for us, so we can all be really rich and get the fuck out of here?
Yes, because didn't even get it off the ground, and they stopped using it. So I don't know what I'm going to go with now.
Many vids.
But
it says call it Only Dave.
Only Dave.
Only Dave. I'm not sure which way to take that. Any Daves are allowed on?
Pictures of Dave's feet.
So we have to reface ourselves with all our videos with Dave's face and
that would be horrific.
That would be awesome.
Jenny?
Is it true that
I like this background you got going on right now, by the way, Dave.
Yeah.
Is it true that OnlyFans is
No, go on, Jenny. You're really quiet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it true that OnlyFans is dropping porn?
Yeah,
it's not dropping porn outright, but it's doing anything explicit.
Yeah, there's that rating system, like anything that shows like penetration and stuff, right? That's what they're trying to crack down on, basically.
Yeah.
I'm guessing if it'll get in R, it's probably not going to be allowed.
Yeah, but
can we say if it's featured?
Bunch of prudes.
It is pure purity culture. They've been going. The groups have been going after the payment providers for a while.
Well, this is all the millennials' fault. I think. It's they're the current generation, so.
Yeah, but it's not them. It's not coming from them. It's well, okay. I can tell you who the campaigners are. They tend to be 40 to 60-year-old women.
Yeah, millennials are too broke to have their money have any kind of sway.
Okay, so it's Gen X then?
Okay, as a Gen X woman, I am pro porn. So I think it's a healthy outlet, especially for the millennials.
Especially allowing people to take control of their own freaking outlet for it instead of having the toxic porn industry. We need something.
But they can't deal with that because they can't fight that. They can fight the porn industry because the porn industry has problems.
Just don't blame the boomers because we're the ones who made it okay to fuck in public. It's.
We got other stuff we can blame on the boomers, though, right?
Sure.
Climate change.
Yeah, a big piece of that. You bet.
The current form of capitalism we've got now that's completely destroying us. That's pretty much a boomer's problem. Well, it's an everyone problem, but they created it.
So, has anyone heard about the eccentric Alaskan tavern owner?
No.
So this tavern owner in Alaska died and willed his establishment to anyone who could pull off the most extreme, amazing stunt. Which begs the question, what would you do for a Klondike bar?
Jeez.
Oh, that came a long way around, but yeah.
All right, now I do have to get going and do all the mommy things that I've been putting off because I really, really wanted to be here for you, Bree. I am so excited for you, and I know that this is going to be a really anxious time for you, and I can't imagine what you're going through. But I'm here for you, and you have community here, and it's nothing but love and support coming from me, and I know everyone in the stream and in the chat.
Yes, thank you for being here for this, and I know you were also at the just not just today. You're there all the time in my stream, so I appreciate your support all the time for the work that I'm doing as far as a science communicator, and I'm thankful that you are here to support me on this length of my personal journey as well. So thank you, Maya.
No, you're an awesome person. Just point blank, you're an awesome person, and I look forward to you showing us more and more about your true self. And I know that's going to be separate from your channel, but I'm here for you as a fan and as a person.
Thank you.
Right.
Thanks, Maya, for
Bye,
coming.
everybody.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, Amanda.
Well, I think what we're gonna do is wrap it up and have everybody, the rest of us, go around the room and say what we want to for Bree. So, whoever wants to start, Jenny, so you can fucking mute and we don't have to listen to that crackling anymore.
What? Hey, Bree, did you know that I used to share a first name with you?
I did not. Was your name Brian before too?
I won't admit to anything. I hate that name.
Yeah, I was never a fan anyway. So I won't miss it when it's gone.
Yeah, I can dig it. Everybody kept misspelling it, brain.
Yeah, you see how I tried to turn that around. I did. That was really a goal of mine, was to say, you know what, I can flip this, but I'm not gonna miss Brian. It was not an easy life as Brian. The life of Brian makes me think of.
He's a very naughty.
Yeah, I hated that movie too.
Side of life.
I've got nothing to plug. Just the usual stuff. Purple's shows next week, and whatever else I can pick up, and be a slovenly whore.
I did fall asleep listening to you guys on Purple Stream a couple weeks back. I can't remember what the topic was now. Looking back, but it was when he did that. He was doing is Purple they them. I'm sorry. I
no, she's she.
She's a she now. Okay, I know that's been a new transition. Oh my gosh, yeah, there's some solidarity with Purple too, but they were talking about some of these issues that we're talking about that I brought up today with what I was worried about with local people more so than the community I have online. If I could live in a community with you guys, I would,
Yeah.
But well, Jenny, you're not too terribly far from me, are you?
No, I'm in southeast corner of Minnesota.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm in Western Illinois, so we're probably 4 or 5 hours apart. But in Midwestern, in American standards and Midwestern standards specifically, that's not that far. And me and Jenny and Ring know that.
Yeah.
No, not far at all.
It's the other side of the country, more than here.
Yeah. Well, Amanda's been all over the country too, I guess.
a little bit.
I just can't come down till I fix my water pump and thermostat.
Yeah. Well, I need to take. I like to go up there on vacations and stuff, and take my kayak out on the different lakes and stuff too. So, I don't know. I don't see why a meet up and hang out after this new COVID spike. By the way, did you catch the part of where my household has COVID too? Right, Jenny?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So it's going to be a little bit before I'm going anywhere, but I hope to be able to take my kayak out again a couple of times before the summer was over. So who knows?
Well, I hope it stops with the people who got it now and doesn't spread.
Yeah.
Ray?
So yeah, glad I could be here for you, Bree. And I'm this stream is about you, so I'm gonna hold off on chilling.
We're talking about. I know you do have your D&D stuff that we were talking about earlier, so coming up. So that did get dropped in the channels in the side chat here, so no worries about that.
Yeah,
always fun.
Yeah. Oh, since you did bring up my channel,
go for it. Come on.
Monday, I'm premiering a video on my take on the Taliban takeover. So we get to see a little bit more analyst ring.
Oh yeah, like what you did when you looked at the Capitol riot and stuff, right? Yeah. Cool.
Okay, now it's Dave's turn.
Now it's myself. Yeah. So I was waiting for you to say, "Oh, I was going to talk." That's it. We love you, Brian. Oh shit! We love you,
yeah.
I'm fucking up.
Love you too, Dave.
Oh,
that's it.
That's it. That's it.
Just one more. Just one more thing while Dave's thinking.
No, I'm done.
I am pre-apologizing for any case where I might accidentally dead name you in text, because the way I work is I call people by their screen names, and autocorrect is terrible.
Oh yeah, so if people call me Brain or Brain Bug, I'm not going to make a big deal about Brian, at least not for a while, until I start to look a little bit more different.
If like I accidentally say like Brian in a tweet, it's because I was typing Brain and it auto corrected. Basically.
No worries.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody who showed up in the in my stream. Everybody who showed up in this after party stream. I appreciate all of you for coming out and supporting me, for doing this. My channel is going to go back to talking about bugs. Probably. I don't know how much more I'm going to discuss this, but I am willing to discuss this in other people's platforms where the topic is these issues. I am an activist and advocate for trans rights. I always have been. So that's definitely not going to change now. So I will still be a voice there, and still reach out to me if you do panels or anything where you talk about that topic. I will be happy to include my voice there.
Maybe you could do a show on bugs that change gender.
Yeah, I just did a couple weeks back about the gay stag beetles. Did you catch that one?
Yeah, I caught that one.
Yeah.
I was thinking like hermaphroditic worms and things like that.
Yeah. All kinds of stuff in nature that normalizes everything as far as the animal kingdom goes, and the unnatural arguments that people seem to throw out. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, just in case my computer dies, Bree, I love you. I'm always here for you.
Well, Amanda, love you too. Thank you so much. She's really been a huge support, and she put a lot of this stuff together, and between her and Dave here, I made this a lot easier for me to take this public and not make a big showboat about it, but to just get it out there and say, this is what's going on. If you want to talk about it, I'm going to be over here after the show. Other than that, I'm going to do my show and then come on here. I did end up delving into stuff a little bit deeper than I maybe thought I would at first, but that's because I started feeling some emotion towards you guys, especially you two, and Dave and Amanda, for all the support I've been able to get out of you. So thank you.
I'm honored that you came to us with it, and I'm so very proud of you, hon. Very proud.
On that note,
Go ahead, Dave.
We should say goodbye.
It's your channel, remember?
I know. We'll say goodbye. We'll see you all soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.